back already? Well, to be fair, it has been a little while, hasn't it? So, should I continue where we left off? Granted, we only just started the story. Okay. Are you ready? All snuggled up? You look a little tight. Long day again? Yeah, I am. I thought so. Before I start reading, how about we just, just take some deep breaths. Calm down a bit. Okay? You just follow my lead. 3 more. Last one. Feel any better? Well, I hope you do. You ready? Okay. Kiki comes of age. After tea, Kokiri and Okino went out to run errands while Kiki and Gigi sat dreamily at the garden's edge. I guess I should leave soon, Kiki said. You should. You're not going to decide you don't want to be a witch this late in the game, are you? Gigi asked, looking up at her. Oh, of course not. Then the memory and thrill of her first time flying on a broom came rushing back. For most of her life, Kiki was brought up more or less like any normal girl. She knew that her mother was a witch and that she would have to decide for herself one day whether she wanted to be one, too. Still, she never gave the decision serious thought. But a little while after she turned 10, she heard a friend of hers say, I'm going to follow in my mom's footsteps and become a hairdresser. Kiki had a vague sense that Kokiri wanted her to follow in her footsteps, but she didn't wish to become a witch simply because of her mother. I'm going to be whatever I want, Kiki thought. I'm going to decide for myself. One day, Kokiri fashioned her daughter a little broom and asked, Want to try flying? Me? I can fly? You're the daughter of a witch, so I should think so. She could tell her mother was trying to lure her into taking up the family tradition, but it was a rare chance, so she agreed to learn the basics. Following Kokiri, she shyly mounted her broom and kicked off the ground. Instantly, her body grew light. She was floating. I'm flying, she shouted in spite of herself. She was only about 10 feet above the rooftop, but it felt incredible. The sky even seemed a little bit bluer. And on top of that, a curiosity welled up inside her, lifting both her heart and body. I want to go higher, higher and higher. I wonder what I'll be able to see. What's it like up there? I need to know more. It was love at first flight. So of course she decided to become a witch. It's in your blood, Kokiri said with delight. But Kiki told herself, no, it's not just that. I decided for myself. Suddenly, Kiki jumped from the grass. Hey Gigi, let's go check on my project. Just for a minute since Mom isn't here. She jerked her chin towards a shed in the corner of the garden. Why are you keeping it a secret from Kokiri anyway? Gigi moaned. 'Cause she makes a big deal out of anything to do with coming of age, and she always has to have her say. which makes everything more complicated than it needs to be. Well, I understand that. Anyhow, you need to make sure it gets lots of sun so it can properly dry out. Only a little. Okay, but don't bring it up to bed again. If you sleep with it, it'll get moldy like last time. I know. I need you to help me out though. Pretty soon it'll just be us two. As she spoke, she waited, deftly through the waist-high herbs and angled her body. One more time. As she spoke, she waded deftly through the waist-high herbs and angled her body into the space between the shed and the fence. Then she let out a happy yelp. Look! A long, thin broom hung from the eaves of the shed. It gleamed in the westering sun. If it's this beautiful, I think I'll be okay, she squealed. Yeah, it seems like the drying process went well this time. Gigi looked up at her wide-eyed. Hey, Kiki, why don't you try flying? The weather's nice. I can't do that, Kiki shook her head. I'm not using it till the day I leave. It'll be here soon. I want everything to be brand new. My clothes, my shoes, and my broom too. I want to be reborn. I'm sure Mom will say, you're from a long line of witches, so you need to value the old. But I'm me. I'm a new witch. So how am I supposed to make myself new? Gigi pouted, his whiskers bristling. You're fine. I'll brush your fur till it shines. You'll be all fresh. Gigi sniffed. Fresh cat? Don't talk about it like you're going to cook me. You're not the only one coming of age, you know. You're right. I'm sorry. Kiki held back a laugh and looked into Gigi's eyes. I wonder how it will feel to leave. I bet you'll cry. No, I won't. By the way, when are you planning to do it? Gigi looked up at her again. Seems like we're ready, so we can leave pretty much any time. Want to make it the night with a full moon? What? The next one? Yeah, in 5 more days. Doesn't it feel good to do something right when you decide? This is going to be so much drama, as usual. I'll tell Mom and Dad tonight. I wonder what kind of town we'll end up in, Gigi. Kiki looked into the distance with a new grown-up gleam in her eye. I don't know. I'm a bit worried, to be honest, since you're so quick with your decisions. Oh, I'm not worried at all. We can worry about things once they happen. Right now, I'm excited. It's like opening a present, she said breathlessly, and poked the broom. It swung back and forth as if it were nodding to her. After dinner that evening, Kiki stood with Gigi before Kokiri and Okino. You don't need to worry. I've decided where I'm going. Kokiri leaped out of her chair. Well, really? When will it be? Kokiri ran her eyes over the calendar on the wall, bewildered. Oh, pardon me. I skipped a line. Let me restart. After dinner that evening, Kiki stood with Gigi before Kokiri and Okino. You don't need to worry. I've decided where I'm going. Kokiri leaped out of her chair. Well, really? When will it be? The night with a full moon. Kokiri's eyes ran over the calendar. Oh my god, I cannot say this page. Kokiri leaped out of her chair. Well, really? When will it be? The next night with a full moon. Kokiri ran her eyes over the calendar on the wall, bewildered. What? But that's only 5 days away. You should wait until the next one. Kiki frowned and scrunched her shoulders. See? There you go again. You get mad if I dilly-dally, but then you complain and when I actually decide. She's right, dear. It's not quite fair, said Okino. Sure, but there's so much to get ready. It's a lot of work for a mother to do. Flustered, Kokiri turned red. Kiki leaned into her face, shook her hips, and sang, Believe in your daughter, believe. I'm already ready. Right, Gigi? He twitched his tail in reply. What? Kokiri's jaw dropped and she lowered her eyes. What do you mean you're ready? What did you do? I made a new broom. Gigi helped. Hold on, I'll go get it. Kiki opened the door and raced outside. Here it is! She was back in no time, showing Kokiri and Okino the broom she'd hidden by the shed. Oh, nicely done, Okino smiled. I soaked willow branches in the river and then left them in the sun. I did a good job, right, Mom? Kiki swung the broom to show off. Kokiri slowly shook her head. It's a beautiful broom, but you can't use it. Why not? I don't want to use that little broom I've had until now. Flying is the only magic thing I can do, so I at least want to fly on a nice new broom. If flying is the only magic that you can do, doesn't that make your broom that much more important? What will you do if you have trouble flying on something you've never ridden before? Your start is critical. Coming of age isn't so easy. Kokiri shook her head again and continued. We can only give you a little money, enough to eat for a year if you really keep your expenses down. After that, a witch has to survive on her magic. During this year, you need to figure out how to make a living, like how I proved myself useful to the townspeople. By making medicine. Go with my broom. It's broken in, and you already know how to fly with it. I don't want to. It's all dirty and black, like it's been used in a chimney. And the handle is so thick and heavy, it's clunky. Don't you think, Gigi? Gigi watched from near her feet and let out an exaggerated purr. See, Gigi agrees with me. He says a black cat riding that broom will get mistaken for a rain cloud, but on a willow broom, he'll look like a prince in a glass carriage. I don't know what to do with the two of you, Kokiri exclaimed. You're still a child, aren't you? Brooms aren't toys, you know. At some point, my broom will get old too, and then you can use whatever you like. By then, I'm sure you'll be a full-fledged witch. Kokiri suddenly closed her eyes as if she was trying to think of something. Kiki glanced at her broom for a few moments, but then looked up and said, Fine, but let me pick my dress. I saw a pretty one in the shop on Main Street with a floral pattern. If I wear that, I'll look like a flying flower. I'm sorry, but you can't do that either. Kokiri had a serious expression on her face again. These days, witches don't have to wear a pointy hat and a long cape. But the color of our clothes has always been the blackest black. That can't be changed. That made Kiki sulk even more. It's so old-fashioned. A black with That made Kiki sulk even more. It's so old-fashioned. A black witch with a black hat. Black. That was hard for me to say. Well, of course it's old-fashioned. We come from old witch blood. Besides, black never goes out of style. Leave it to me. I'll make one in a hurry. This old blood thing again, Kiki mumbled, pouting. Kiki, don't get too hung up on appearances. It's your heart that's important. Mom, I know that. I'll handle my heart. No one can see that, though. Kiki turned her resigned face to Okino. Dad, you'll give me a radio, won't you? I want to listen to music while I fly. I'd really like a rad radio. All right, got it. He nodded with a smile. Kokiri smiled, then abruptly turned to her daughter. Okay, that's enough for tonight. Good night, Kiki. And with her right hand, she used the hem of her apron to dab her eyes. And that was chapter 2. How many chapters are there in this book? So it seems like I might have miscounted since I just skimmed through it very, very quickly, but it seems like there are 11. So you get 9 more nights of reading. But until then, I think we should go to sleep. Does that sound good, sweetie? Good. Okay. Well, good night, my love. I hope you have a good rest.